Today I want to show you the most efficient way to start your Kamado. Hi, welcome along to Barbecue Life, where great barbecue doesn't cost a fortune. As I said right at the top of the video, today we are looking at the most efficient way to start our Kamado. So we're going to be using a few different things to do this. The first thing we're going to be using is this. So we have an electric charcoal lighter, a 3-pin plug, 2000 watt, and then heat comes out the end of there and lights your charcoal. Handy little hanging bit, and I believe it's a 2 or 3 metre cable. I'll put that on the screen just to confirm. I think it's 2 metres, so we're going to be using this, and we're going to be using some more traditional stuff. So your wax woody, which is what you see majority of people light their barbecues with, and then we've got some little fibre blocks in different colour, different sizes. So the bigger one you can see is also thicker, as well as it being more square, so that should burn considerably longer than the smaller one. Now these can be a bit of a pain to light, so when it comes to lighting these, I take the corner and I'll rough the fibres up, and by doing that, giving it a little rough corner like that, that means that you can light that piece, and then the rest of it will take. Where if I'm just trying to light the solid block, then they take absolutely forever to light. So a nice little hack with the corner of these, just rough them up and you can light them easy. So we're going to be using fresh charcoal in the Kamado Bono for both of the tests. We're going to test the charcoal lighter by itself, and then we're going to be testing these. Everything's going to be timed. I will speed the time up because some of these take like 12 minutes to go out, and you don't want to be sitting here for 12 minutes just watching the flame flicker away. So I will be speeding it up, so you can, but all of the time will be live over in the corner, so you can see exactly how long it takes for things to do and the effects that it has on the charcoal while we're doing it. So we're going to jump straight into using the charcoal lighter first. Yeah, let's take you over. So you can see the timer on the left of your screen, and we've just got this electric charcoal lighter into the top of the charcoal, pulling the trigger, and within 15 seconds you're getting a glow, and then we're about 30 seconds in now, and you can really see that glow is starting to take plenty of sparks, which I would expect from heating the charcoal as quickly as what we are. There's a real big glow going on in the bottom now, and 50 seconds and the bottom of that is lit. So as you can see, that's pretty impressive stuff, that under a minute and you've got a nice bed of charcoal lit in the bottom, and then you're going to be shutting down your lid, opening your vents, and you can have a nice roaring temperature. So this is all well and good when you want to be getting your barbecue up to high temperatures. If you are doing a low and slow, then you're going to have too much charcoal lit in the bottom. While that is still burning away and you're warming your ceramic, you can end up overshooting temperatures and not be able to keep them down. So that is really good for hot and fast, really quick and efficient, better than what you're going to see with the more traditional lighters in a minute, but only if you're doing a hot and fast cook. So let's jump over to these more traditional lighters, and say all timed in the corner, and I'll talk you through how these work. So with our more traditional firelighters, we've got a little wax woody we've put in at the back, and then a larger little fibre block we're putting in at the front on the left hand side, and then the smaller block of exactly the same substance, just a slightly smaller size, over on that right hand side. I'm just going to make sure we get placement nice and even so that we can make this as fair as possible. So we've got that timer lit. You can see the wax woody, that lights up pretty quickly. The little blocks, they take a bit longer, but inside of 30 seconds and we've got them all lit. So I'd say the big ones probably take about 10 seconds each, where the wax woody lights very, very quickly indeed. As soon as you get a flame near it, it is lit. So you can see we're a minute in and you've got a much bigger flame over on that wax woody than what you've got on these two little fibre blocks. I've taken the speed of the clip up a bit faster now, so that we're not just going to be sitting here just watching flickering flames. So you're coming up to 3 minutes in. You can see that you've got a nice burn on them little fibre blocks. 4 minutes in, and the wax woody at the back is starting to die down. And that's pretty much 7 minutes in, and that wax woody at the back has completely died off. We've got a nice glow of charcoal sitting in there, and the other two woodies are still burning strong. As you can see, that small woody is starting to burn down. As we reach the 10-minute mark, that pretty much goes out. And if we take the camera in a bit closer, you've got a much smaller amount of charcoal lit from that, although it's burnt for longer. And that big one is still going. That's going to burn on again for about another minute, I would have thought. So around the 12-minute mark, that is going to burn out, as you can see. And as you can see, you've got slightly more lit than what the smaller one did, but not a massive amount. And in that time, if we look at all of the charcoal, so in the complete 12 minutes from lighting the wax woodies at the back, you've got much more charcoal lit there than what you've got at the front. So impressive stuff by the wax woody over at the back. Lights very, very quickly, goes out quickly, and in the time that it takes for these fibrous ones to come out, you've already got a nice amount of charcoal lit. You could have your lid shut in the meantime and have your ceramic warming up rather than having it open for the 12 minutes. So again, that's good for hot and fast, or if you're only going to use one, and you're going to make sure as soon as that is out, you're going to shut your lid and get your vents open while you're warming your ceramic, then you can use that for low and slow. I wouldn't use more than one in there if you want a low and slow cook. If you want a hot and fast cook, I've used 4 of these before, dotted around, and you get a lot of charcoal lit across an area, and then you can warm things up very, very quickly. But for low and slow, I really don't think you can beat these little fibre blocks. Either size, the fact that this one only burnt for a minute longer than this one, I'd be going for the smaller ones. I think you get more in a pack. Let's have a quick look. Exactly the same amount in a pack, so 50 in a pack, but I believe the smaller ones are cheaper than the bigger ones. So I would be going for these smaller ones for my low and slow cooks, and my hot and fast cooks, either using the wax woody that I've just thrown on the floor, either using a few wax woodies, or jumping on board with that electric Firelighter. I think that's going to be more efficient in the long run. You're only running it for a minute, so I know electricity prices are through the roof at the minute, but you're only going to be running that for a minute, where to get the same amount lit as what you were going to be doing 2 or 3 of these, and in the long run you get, how many do we get in a bag of these? You get 25 in these, so if you're doing 2, that's 12 cooks. So I would be using that charcoal lighter. Since I've got it, I've used it several times on the Kamado, on the Weber kettle. It's really good if you've got a vortex, so you can get some charcoal lit in the bottom of that vortex very, very quickly, dump some unlit charcoal on the top, and then it works as a chimney. Everything comes up and lights incredibly quickly, much quicker than what you do with firelighters, or using a chimney starter, waiting for all that to rush over and then emptying it in there. That takes sort of 15 minutes. I can get the vortex lit in there in 5 with silly roaring temperatures by using that charcoal lighter, so it's much more efficient on time. That's it, we're at the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Please do make sure that you like the video, leave me a comment underneath and let me know what you think, and thanks very much for watching. Cheers.